All right, everyone, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Christina, aka That Variety Nerd, and today we are back finally, with our Sims 4 renovation and build sort of series thing that we haven't done in a little while. The last time we had any sort of building stuff here on the channel was like back in July, right before I moved, where we built Magnolia Promenade up. And so, because, things are not looking too great in general in the world, we might as well just get bunkered in and continue to work on the save file. So, if you're not familiar, I do have a new website that just launched about a week or so ago, give or take. It's been a while. I'm tired. It's fine. Anyway, we have a link where you can actually go and see and track the actual. I'll also include the link to the actual spreadsheet itself, but I'll also include the direct link to my Sims content tab thing, where you can actually see where I'm at in real time. So sometimes, for example, I'll start on a build or a renovation and I actually get like maybe halfway done, but I just can't do it anymore because it's a bigger build or something like that. Or I'm just stuck, or I need a break. Usually one of those categories, that is for sure. But with this particular build and upcoming build videos, I decided to do a little bit of a backlog of content, at least until we get to the new Sims game. And even a little bit after that, like, I don't think I'll have any content up right away for the new pack, just because I'm taking a little bit of time off in November. So there is that. Because November gets crazy. There's no other way around it. And, I want to make sure that I take, just care of myself and, family and all that good stuff. And so that's what's going on in life. So yeah, I think I uploaded this one to the gallery. I should. But the only pack that I used with this house was romantic garden stuff, I think. So mostly base game, just use some romantic garden stuff, but I've been focusing in on just trying to build up each of the worlds and renovate them and so forth. And so I decided to go with and just do a bunch of Willow Creek builds like about a month ago, or maybe not even that. I don't remember when exactly I actually went ahead and did these builds, if I'm being 100% real. Let's see what we got here. I don't even think I want to know. It was definitely within the last month or so. But they've just been sitting there, and so I thought, okay, well, we've got a couple weeks to burn until, of all the freaking days, Friday the 13th, we get a new Sims 4 pack. This pack's gonna be cursed, I know it. No, I'm only joking. I'll just be sitting here with some Supernatural playing the new Sims game. Because dude, what are your all's thoughts on this whole pack? Like, I know there was like a little bit of an uproar with just like some cultural stuff that was going on. I think there was an article, I'll link it down below, where like some Sims players from South Korea, they were, letting everybody know, like, hey, like this thing in the trailer, like, this is not okay, and here's why. And I'm all for learning about the history, so I want to know if that goes anywhere, if the team's going to address that, or at least clear up some concern, maybe fine tune some things last minute. Even if it comes in a patch later on, or, an update or whatever, like a quick hotspot type of fix. Like, just addressing it even vaguely would be okay. Like, at this point, like, I mean, it's not okay, like, that it happened. If, again, I don't know much about, history basically outside of the United States because that's just, the United States. And even then, I still am like, what the crap is going on history wise? Like, I'm still learning new things. And I'm like, okay, what? What happened here? You know what I mean? Like, I remember back in college, I took like a class in history where it was like basically all the stuff that we didn't learn in high school, so post World War II or something like that. So that was a time. That was a very confusing time period just in general. There was a lot that went down, but it was certainly worthwhile because like usually in high school you only get taught to a certain point and then it's just like everything else gets breezed over or it just gets so confusing that you just kind of tap out at some point. But anyway, I was going to say that has nothing to do with The Sims, but it kind of does have something to do with The Sims because it involved like, South Korea, and I guess, Korea, and I don't know. I don't know much about Korea or Japan or the cultures to make a statement or anything like that. because, well, I'm in America. So, but hey, any and all resources are always much appreciated. At least point me in the right direction. And you know what? I'll educate and I'm more than open to educating myself and, that sort of thing. So that's sort of where we're at. Anyway, besides those, like, I think it was like two issues. Again, I'll link it down in the description if I can, the article that I found it off of. I thought it would be interesting to kind of just chit chat about for a moment, while this has nothing to do with our suburban home. But overall, I think outside of that, I guess controversy, I feel like we overuse that word quite a bit, but I don't know. Despite that issue that's come up, I think I'm genuinely excited. I don't know if you've seen my reaction to it, and I might just put that at the end of this video, like during the end card or something like that. But y'all, my excitement was real for this pack. I have not been this excited for a Sims pack all freaking year. Like, I was alright with Eco Lifestyle. I saw it, I'm like, okay, it's Eco Lifestyle, this sounds alright. But when I saw this pack and sledding and a lot of stuff that I grew up doing, like skiing and sled riding and all kinds of stuff, and just snow and mountainy and hills and stuff like that, that warmed my heart a little bit. Like, I was a little tiny Tina back in the day riding on the sleds and, going with the orange fences and the orange plastic fences. I don't even know if that's even the right wording I would use, but here we are. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it. But pretty much in November, I live in Ohio now, so like the first snow in Ohio, it varies per region, which it's like if you live up in northern Ohio, like towards Columbus or Cleveland or Toledo, you're gonna get hit with snow earlier than like if you live near Dayton or Cincinnati, or at least it's been in my experience anyway. Because especially more towards like Dayton and Cincinnati, and like when you get towards the borders towards like Kentucky and West Virginia, it basically just gets toastier, and there's a bit of a decreased chance. You know what I mean? Like it's like those areas get hit with snow, but like not nearly as bad from my understanding. Again, I can't speak on, West Virginia experience because I've never been there, nor have I traveled or lived there, but Kentucky experience wise, basically, like if you're in the top half of the state, like you're gonna get some kind of snow during the year, not a whole lot, but you're gonna get something. But if you go more towards the southwestern part, probably not so much. But if you're going towards the West Virginia part, well, because it's very mountainous and stuff like that over that way, like there might be a chance. But yeah, that's kind of just been my lived experience. So anyway, again, probably much of this is not related to this build, but it's Sims stuff, and we're talking about Sims stuff and Sims related stuff. So the nice thing about this pack is that, like, even if you don't have seasons, which I still recommend getting as a pack because it has a lot of cool things to it, you're gonna be able to get snow, but like just in that world specifically. So I'm like, okay, well that's a nice workaround for that. We only spent $40 on that expansion pack to get like weather and stuff. But then I'm like, okay, Christina, but how many types of weather did you actually get with the seasons pack? There's rain, there's heat waves, there's blizzards, you know what I mean? And I'm really curious to see how that's going to pan out with seasons. You know what I mean? Is like what kind of a climate is it going to be like year round? Is it going to be the four seasons? Is it going to be like all snow all the time? You know what I mean? Because I saw a very rough map of it get leaked a little while ago too, and I was like, hold up here. What? What? I feel like I was just more confused than anything. Ultimately, for this build and the upcoming builds, you're going to hear me just ramble. That's just sort of that's kind of my style at this point. It's like I used to be just so intricate on like, oh well, here's the philosophy behind this build, and now I'm like, LOL, I ate four Reese cups today, and I drank a cup of coffee. You know what I mean? But no, like I wanted to keep some stuff that I saw in the bathroom. Just added some stuff again as per usual. Add your move objects on. Make sure that those are turned on. So that way you can get the most out of, the experience, to say the least. But, yeah, so the save file, it's still going to be a thing. I don't know when it's going to be out or anything like that. Like, we're nowhere close to being done, okay? I think we've got about half the worlds built in some capacity. And then I don't know how long it'll take for this next build to get renovated, or if I just get too. We're gonna have a let's play for this one. I don't care. I need my toddler to go sledding and just wipe out on some. I mean, what? Apparently, there's injuries now, and I'm like, hold up here. Like, shouldn't injuries have come out like when we had get to work? I mean, those workers' comp claims, like that should have been but better late than never, right? I mean, to be fair, sports medicine's going to look slightly different than workers' comp, but the two might overlap because, if you're an athlete, that's your workplace, right? Anyway, I don't know anything about that legal stuff. Speaking of legal stuff, one of my Kingdom Hearts videos got like 4 copyright things on it like the other day, so that was fun to see emails about. Apparently, a lot of other people had the Digital Millennium Copyright Act DMCA thing on their YouTubes as well. So I was like really confused because I'm like, this video's been out for over a year and you haven't said anything until now. I see you. But yeah, dude. So I kind of like with this house and many others, Willow Creek to me is very much like just very much a suburban utopia essentially. Like it is just the suburbs of suburbs in The Sims. Like at least with Oasis Creek, you get a little bit of that deserty vibe, so you can kind of get away with like, maybe some older people, like an older community. Oh, that's an idea. I'm gonna pocket. I'm gonna mentally jot notes of that in my brain. Oh. Oh, I've got some ideas for Oasis Springs finally. Okay, I think we're onto something. Whereas like Willow Creek, it's much more family oriented. Whereas like I can definitely see like Oasis Springs like catering to literally everybody. We turned Newcrest into a college town a while back, like last year I think, or earlier this year. It was definitely yeah, no, it was last year. I remember that. It was right after university came out that I put that together. Because you know what? Like, I was stressed out with university at the time, IRL. But anyway, we're about to get into the screenshots in just a second. So I hope you all enjoy this little video and upcoming renovations. And so there you go. That is the outside. I'm terrible at roofing, so I barely touched it. But I think this thing gave it a little bit of fresh paint, while also keeping true to some of the original flair to it a little bit. So either way around, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that fun stuff here on the channel. I'm going to try to stream a little bit more, but we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, you're going to get much more Sims content in the upcoming future / the rest of the year, now that we've got this very exciting expansion pack coming out. And so that's pretty much it. I normally don't cover all the bathrooms, but I felt like they were just very different. So that's why that's why we went with that. And of course, per usual, we got our before and after shots coming up in just a moment here. So yeah, again, thank you all so much for tuning in. All the links are down in the description down below. And see you all around later. Bye, everyone.